Good evening everyone and welcome along to League of Europe. We are here for Formula 2 action. It is Season 5, Round 6 of the Championship as we take in the Russian Grand Prix from the Sochi Autodrome. I nearly forgot what I was going to say there, goodness me. My name is James, I'm going to be taking you through the stream as always. Joining me in the comment box will be Oliver Bryn Mike. He is going to be here very soon indeed. His game is copying over, so he's put it into rest mode and will be joining me in due course. However, we are now into the second half of the season, and we come to Russia, of course, with Toxic leading the championship on 191 points. Verstappen in second on 149, with Ruta in third on 144. Rocco fourth for 134 on 134, and Campbell in fifth on 121. Nathan in sixth on 100, Miami in seventh on 99, just a point behind. Larkin in eighth on 81, Brent in ninth on 70, Nolan and Zerdam are tied for 10th on 68 points. RJDW in 12th on 60. Sofian is a little way behind on 33, with M Short on 32. Pharrell Fury on 26, along with Josh. Chill is on 14, along with Prince Killer. Benny is on 10, and Killer Blue on 9. Coming into tonight, that is the driver standings, and the constructor standings is as follows: 312 points. Not Racing Point, BWTHA Race Lab lead the way on 312, with Arc 1 Pre second on 202. MP Motorsport third on 180, Univirtuosi in fourth on 170, High-Tech in fifth on 168, Prima in sixth on 163, a little bit of a gap then to Carlin in seventh on 70, along with Trident. Very good to see them both tied for points. Dams in ninth on 59, and Campos in 10th on just the 14 points. Of course, they were picked up in the feature race of the British Grand Prix in round 2 of the season. But there we are, and we are about to get going obviously into the one-shot qualifying. 50% races here for both the feature and the sprint race, and we cannot wait to bring you the action, of course. And if you are an industrious little fellow, privyet to everyone who was joining the stream here tonight. And hopefully we can provide you with a lot of good action. As I say, I've been Michael Combs. He's going to make it tonight. He is just updating his game at this moment in time, so he will be joining me in due course. Probably in time for the start of the sprint race, one would imagine. But 17 drivers here. Very good to see a lot of old faces, but a couple of new faces as well. CRL Nathan recently joining the league as soon as today. He's in the Charu, and Yono is in the Carlin as well. He's an ISRL driver. Of course, ISRL, their main driver that I've commentated on, certainly within Formula 2, is Jordan. That was last season, of course, Division 2, and he has been doing sterling work, of course, in Division 2 as well this season. But we are just a couple of minutes away from beginning out on track. We've now got 18 drivers in. Pharrell Fury has just joined into the lobby as well. Really good to see, very good familiar faces here in Russia, the Sochi Autodrome. Playing host, of course, to round 6 of the championship. And Sochi, it's a 5.8 kilometre circuit, one of the longest tracks actually on the F1 calendar. 3.6 mile in length, and of course we have got 18 turns awaiting these guys out on track. 2 DRS zones, one down the start finish straight down in towards turn 2, and then one down the back straight, the long back straight, running down in towards turn number 12, which is a very hard braking zone. You can pick up a lot of invalidations around here, especially in that middle sector. I'll even try and pinpoint some nice landmarks on the way around the circuit, of course, here in Sochi. Used to play host, of course, to the 2014 Winter Olympics. God, that makes me feel very, very old indeed. But 10 seconds to go then until we get into qualifying, and hopefully we are going to be providing you with the action out on track. 16 drivers now readying up, but we are about to get going into qualifying tonight for League of Europe. Of course, there is Sochi, and we are about to get going, of course, as I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. There's the run through turn 3. There's the Fish Stadium as well to the left-hand side. The Fish Stadium, of course, playing host to the opening ceremony of the opening closing ceremonies, I should say, of the Winter Olympics when it came here, of course, in 2014, all centred around the Olympic Village. These were access roads, actually, in the Olympic Village, which has then been transformed into a Formula 1 circuit. And hopefully, the first thing we're going to see is dry weather. Out on track, of course, it can be quite overcast, and it indeed is overcast as we come then into qualifying, as now we get the drivers loaded up into their grid slots on within the pit lane, I should say. They'll get loaded within the pit lane. Drivers now readying up on the right-hand side. One-shot qualifying, 50% rating, of course. Not sure how many laps it is around here, but we'll confirm that as we go onto the formation lap. There's the roller coaster just in the foreground, in the background of shot, I should say. Rocco is the only one we're waiting on readying up. And speaking of him, we're now going to go on board with Relentless Nathan. And Nathan now, formerly known as NWBB, formerly known as XL Lando, is now going to start us up on a lap then. Coming through turn number 1, through turn 1. And he's probably in Nikita Mazepin's car. I wonder if that is going to do him any world of good at all. As we now come through down towards turn 2. Nice. Through turn 3 with the fans on the right hand side. Coming through this 180-degree left-hander through turn 4. And there, right in front of camera now, is the Fish Stadium out on track. We now come through turn 5. Ice Hockey Arena to the left-hand side. There's now Nathan coming out of this out of this first sector. It's 37.3s, there or thereabouts, with the likes of Larkin, Fury, Campbell towards the top end of the field there as well. Toxic, Verstappen, Campbell currently your top 3. It's Nathan now runs in towards turn number 8, then in towards the double left of turns 9 and 10, and this is a very tricky part of the circuit where you can pick up some invalidations out on track. That was lovely though from Nathan. Coming through there, the Olympic Village just off into the centre of camera shots. We now come through turn 11, runs out wide there, Nathan, but now running down the straight in towards this very tight, tricky, twisty section. Braking zone of turn number 12. He's ahead of Larkin now, so up to 4th, 113.6 from Nathan as he now comes through into the middle sector. Through the middle sector then, and underneath the bridge, through 13, through 14, and this is probably where the trickiest corners out on track come. Uphill in towards turn 15, and then coming through turn 16. It's looking like a very competitive lap for Verstappen and Toxic and Campbell well up there. Larkin gaining position, Verstappen dropping down the field, must have made a mistake coming out of 16. But Nathan now around in the final couple of corners here at the Sochi Autodrome. It's going to be Toxic possibly out on top. He just takes it by about 800ths of a second there from Campbell in second. We'll run down the full grid. Nathan, who we were on board with, of course, going 4th in the high-tech. As we then get into the end of qualifying, the end of one-shot qualifying, 700ths of a second separating Toxic and Campbell out on top. It's a race lap 1-2 with Ruta in 3rd and Nathan in 4th, all Relentless 3rd and 4th. Larkin in 5th, Verstappen in 6th after a costly mistake coming through the end of the final into the final sector. Rocco in 7th, Nathan on his debut in 8th, good performance from him. Miami in 9th, Fury in 10th, Nolan 1,000th of a second off, Verstappen as well 1,000th of a second off on Larkin. He's down in 11th as Nolan. Josh in 12th with Chill in 13th. Zerdam at 14th. Yono in 15th. Sofian 16th. And then Brent and RJDW not getting any valid lap times in. And they've been both disqualified from the session. But Toxic out on top. Campbell second. And Ruta in 3rd. As we now make our way in towards the end of qualifying and in towards the formation lap. And I wonder what the weather is going to be doing again out on track, and you would imagine that it's going to be quite dry. I would think the majority of these guys, of course, are going to be running on the fresh compounded tyres. Of course, you get the fresh compounded tyres in Formula 2, and we are about to get going. And it is perfectly dry. It's very similar to qualifying, but we are about to get going into the formation lap of the feature race. Sprint race, of course, to come after this. And it should be very good indeed. Mike's in the comments section there saying this copying is taking the Mickey Mouse. Make of that as what you will. Yeah, he is going to be joining late. I'm sure he'll join in time for the sprint race, depending on how long it is around here, of course. But Mark as well. Let's go Chill. Haas F1 Home Grand Prix for the future Division 3 Constructors Champion. Yeah, Chill, of course, hasn't had the best of luck, if I've got to be honest, in Formula 2 this season. He's been caught up in a few incidents, been caught up in a few spins as well, and it could cost him. He's down there in 13th position. We'll see how his progress is throughout the field. As we see, 14 laps then awaiting the drivers out on track, and the noticeable thing, of course, is all of these guys are starting on the fresh compound of tyre. Fresh rubber for the guys out on track. Round a quite high degradation circuit in these Formula 2 cars. Not so in Formula 1, but in Formula 2, where you're locking up quite a lot. It's quite high degradation, and that's why you've got to try and factor in the strategies around here. 11 of the 18 drivers out on track on a set of super soft compound tyres. They are the top 5, Toxic down to Larkin, Rocco down to Feral Fury 7th to 10th, and Yono and Brent in the back order of the grid in 15th and 17th. They're on a set of super soft compound tyre. On a set of medium compound tyre, Verstappen, Nolan, Josh, Chill, Zerdemer, Sofian and RJDW, they're all on a set of medium compound tyres, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this is all going to unfold. I think Verstappen is the exception rather than the rule in the top 10. He's going for a bit more of a wilder strategy, to be honest, in terms of mediums to super softs. Super softs can last around, I would say, 5 or 6 laps before these guys are going to be putting in. It's going to be similar to a 25% race, I would think, around here, where you do get the one-stop strategy. And on a set of mediums, Verstappen will be home to get you around lap 9, lap 10, possibly come on to a set of super soft compound tyre, and he'll be going to the end of the race, and he'll be one of the quicker men out on track as well. But if these feature races are anything to go by, it is going to be quite fascinating to see how all of this is going to unfold out on track. And yeah, very interesting from Verstappen, says my co-commentator. He's on the set of medium compound tyres, and he should be trying to make his way through the field. Nolan, Josh, Chill, Zerdemer, watch out for them as well later on in the race on the set of mediums. But we're now coming through the final couple of corners then out on track. And it's going to be quite interesting to see who is going to win this. Who's your top 3 in the comment section? Please let me know now before we get into the race. I am going to go for top 3. Very rare that I go for top 3 in Formula 2. But for this race, for the feature race, I think it's going to be Toxic out on top. I think Nathan's going to finish in 2nd, and Verstappen will finish in 3rd position. Now the final couple of cars come around the final couple of corners, and they join onto their grid slots right at the back of the grid. RJW is the last man to join on to the back of the grid. They're all off in an angle, but we are about to get going here in the race, the feature race, as we now see on board with Toxic. What is he going to get in terms of the start? 5 red lights are out. Long haul, but a slight turn, away we go, and Toxic gets a good start. Campbell on the inside line gets a good start as well. Nathan with the better start out the front 4, and he looks to the inside line, running through turn 2, very impossible, coming through on the inside line. A little bit of wheel banging there between him and Campbell, but he's got a hell of a start as Nathan. Toxic tries to cut across, he's going to try and block Nathan in, running down in towards turn 2, and it's Toxic who leads. Nathan now has got through on Campbell. There's a little bit of carnage further down the field. Zerdemer has dropped down a few positions. Yono as well has spun. He resets to track. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but Toxic leading the way. Nathan looks to the inside line, running down in towards turn 4, but Campbell really hassling them. It's going to give a great run to Ruta. Ruta now on the inside line, and Nathan could lose out on 2 positions possibly. He backs off and he lets Ruta go. So Toxic leads the way then through the first half of the lap. Campbell in 2nd, Ruta in 3rd, Nathan in 4th. Nathan and Josh going side by side as well, and now running side by side. That was Feral Fury going around actually on the outside of Nathan. Josh just in behind as well on the set of medium. Zerdemer is dropping down the field. I think he might have a little bit of damage on that car. RGW is just getting caught up in a few instances as well. Yono having a spin. He reset to track further down the field, but Toxic absolutely dominant early on. 8.5 tenths of a second. We're on board with Ruta though. Relentless against QVR. We haven't seen this before in League of Europe. Maybe in Division 1 on Saturday. As now Ruta looks to the outside line. Campbell dives it just down the inner. Miami looking for the move there on Larkin. Just in behind with Verstappen very close into the quarters. The top 4 pulling away. But Toxic leading the way. Campbell in 2nd, Ruta in 3rd. Top 3 for Malt Maverick, Nathan, Toxic, Larkin. Top 3 currently going quite well for Toxic at this stage. Campbell leading the train in behind. 9 tenths of a second as we separate, as we now come on towards lap 2. As Rocco and Nolan are going side by side, the 2 teammates going side by side, and Nolan is being outdone as well by Sophia, and down the inside line the Frenchman just about gets the move done. Oh, and that was just Goldstein failure. That is the Goldstein system at its true and utter best. Out on track, and we're on to lap 2 out of 14, and that is a safety car that has been deployed out on track. So a safety car has been deployed out on track because of the damage picked up to Sophia and Nolan. The Goldstein system completely and utterly failed, and Nolan and Sophia come into contact, and both of them around coming through the final corner to start lap 2. Absolutely disastrous. Disastrous. That's all I can say. Absolutely unfathomable. Toxic leads the way, Campbell in second, Ruta in third, safety car now deployed, and that ghosting really did not do any justice to either Sofian or to Nolan out on track. Of course, Nolan did pick up the win in TTML Division 2 during the week, and it was a fantastic race as well that he picked up. He was right there, up in the vanguard, but he is going to feel very hard done by that. Yono as well had a little bit of a spin. I think he was in behind Sofian in all of that, and Yono down in 17th, Nathan in 18th. Both of them have got damage. Yono, I think, had a spin, so that's why he's behind Sofian at this stage. But this won't help Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen in 5th position. He's on a set of medium compounded tyres. Now, the actual interest of this is the advantage is going to go to the set of super soft runners, you would imagine, because they're on a quicker tyre and they're going to have less wear than imaginable right towards their pit stop strategy, and that's going to be around lap 6, lap 7. Mediums can work on a one-stop from about this far in to the race, and I wonder if anybody is going to decide to come into the pit lane. No, Nathan was going to think about that, but he doesn't come into the pit lane. Nobody does. For Alfieri looking to the inside there, and that's Chill diving it down the inside there. That was very uncharacteristic from Chill. Goodness me, did he run into the back of about 3 cars there? Josh and Nathan did well to avoid. Sofian then into the pit lane. Nolan, I should say, into the pit lane as well. Both of them are in 1 ARC Grand Prix and 1 Dams into the pit garage. And Sofian now down in 17th, Nolan down in 18th position. But there's the man out in front, there's the man on board. In front, Toxic leading the way, Campbell in second, Ruta in third. Good job about the safety car. It's going to give Mike's Coppian a very good time to try and get in, and it is of course taking a slower amount this race. But yeah, Chill, not really sure what happened there with Chill at all. And they can't pit until lap 3. Yes, Sofian and Nolan can't pit until lap 3. It is lap 3 now, and the compulsory pit stop happens on lap 3. So these guys who have gone on to set a super soft compounded tyre, I think, know that they've got to make another stop towards the end of the race. That's why they've gone for set a super soft compounded tyre. They should have just stayed out and then pit at the end of lap 3, but it could mean that the safety car could have came in that lap. So that's why Sofian and Nolan decided to come into the pit lane. I would have done the same, to be honest. I would have been in their position. If I came into the pit on lap 2, I would have just stuck on a set of mediums and then went around lap 12, lap 13, then go on to a set of super soft compounded tyres. But I'm not sure whether that's allowed or if I'm just making up the rules there. I don't know. Toxic, though, out on top. Campbell second, Ruta in third. We should normally see the safety car come in from around this point onwards. As actually Campbell just nearly lagged that on. There's a bit of damage. I think Ruta has actually got into the back of Toxic. Yeah, Ruta went into the back of Toxic. I just saw that. Thought it was looking weird. I thought Campbell had run into the back of him actually, but Ruta's got left side end plate damage on that car, running into the back of Toxic underneath the safety car. That's not going to do him the world of good. At least he can make his mandatory pit stop though under this, and that left side end plate damage is going to be disastrous for the German. As now Toxic is going to come in to the pit lane and serve up this 5-second penalty that he's picked up. It's a 5-second stop go for both of them. Oh, and what? Toxic's been disqualified from the session. No way! Oh my god! Has he? Or was that a glitch? I think it might be a glitch. Toxic's in for a pit box. And that looks like a glitch. What does this game actually do? He's held in the pit lane, of course, serving that 5-second penalty, and now he goes. Everyone has came in though to react. Nathan, Miami, Rocco and the likes are all in. Toxic because of that 5-second penalty, and that's Rocco, I think, that's been held up there. Yeah, Rocco has been, sorry, it's Larkin that's been held up. In fact, Rocco also held up to an extent. But all of these guys pitting in, Campbell the only man out there, and I said a super soft compounded tyre. I got very much excited that I thought Toxic got disqualified there. I would have done the championship a world of good, but Toxic now down in 9th position. He's still going out there out on track, and well, this game just likes to throw up a lot of surprises, doesn't he? Yeah, he overtook the safety car into the pit lane. That's the thing. He overtook the safety car going into the pit lane. So it shouldn't really matter if he's been disqualified or not. But let's check race director. I never do this in a race. Let's check race director. And he's only got a 5-second penalty. So that is clearly a glitch. Clearly and utterly a glitch. And if anybody from Codemasters is watching this, get your game sorted out. Lap 4 out of 14. Campbell leading the way. Verstappen in second, Josh in third, Chill in fourth, Zerma in fifth, RJDW in sixth, Nathan in seventh, Miami Nate Toxic in ninth, as my co-commentator has joined the session. He will join the party in due course, I am sure. I thought it would have been the sprint race when he was joining, but he has managed to join the session, which is good. He's obviously stuck his PS4 in rest mode and will be joining me very shortly indeed. Campbell out on top though, Verstappen in second, Josh in third. Toxic though has defied the laws of the game, to be honest. Overtook the safety car, apparently got disqualified, and then it's decided to just remove that disqualification from the race director. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening. Yep, finally the update decided to finish copying. Took half hour.
Everyone's reacting coming into the pit lane. We're having a whale of a time here with the bloody disqualification malarkey. Goodness me. Campbell is into the pit lane then. Josh, Zerba, RGW also following in. And they're going to be, three of these guys are going to be going onto a set of super soft compound tyre onto lap 5 out of 14. And that will be doable, I think, towards the end of the race. Campbell, in fact, goes onto a set of mediums. Josh onto a set of softs, super softs, I should say. And then onto a set of super softs. The other two guys will go, or the other three will go as well. Campbell on a set of mediums and ahead of Zerba. Zerba actually held up in the pit lane there slightly. Oh, and that's just ridiculous. He's just been held. He literally got let go, and RGW just goes through him and gains an extra position. This game's a joke.
Absolutely. I've just joined the session. I just saw some Peggy 18 stuff. I mean, that's not on.
Oh, good God. A game might have just overwrote it. Bizarre. Yeah, I think the game has overwrote it, Mark. It's just terrible. But at least the two Primas are out on top. Verstappen leading the way. He's the only man from this from the safety car out on track who hasn't pitted, barring Chilling behind. Both of these guys in the Prima have got to be sure to try and close in on these guys. And of course, Verstappen is going to be right down the back of the field. There's no doubt about it. He'd be reliant on another safety car to come out. And to be honest, judging by how much has already happened in this race, I wouldn't bet I would have bet against it at all.
Well, speaking of glitches, I've got a nice visual glitch right now.
Oh no, what is it?
Safety car's lights wasn't on for the entire first and second sector. It's literally just come on now as they come into the end of sector 2.
Yeah,
now it's come back off.
Safety car is in this lap. Verstappen nearly realising that the safety car was not going to come in this lap and nearly breaking into the back of the safety car. But Verstappen's out on top, Chill in second, Nathan in third. Miami, Toxic, Pharrell Fury, Nathan, Brent, Yona, Woosa, top 10. All of these guys instead of super softs, Josh, RJW and Zerdema are going to be trying to make their way through the field as much as possible. But thing of this race now, split in half. We're going to get a DRS train pretty much for the whole field. Nathan has to rejoin onto the back of Pharrell Fury, but we have better get going here then. On to lap 6 out of 14. I don't know where this race has actually gone, and to get to lap 6 of 16. Oh, and I think Nathan spun. Nathan spun in the background there. And we're back underway. Verstappen gets us back underway. Coming through the final couple of corners, looks like Nathan has spun underneath the safety car start. Everyone grouping up in behind him allows him to catch back up. But Verstappen leading the way then. Chill in second. Look at Nathan on that fresh set of mediums. He's now right on the back of the Prima and is surely going to be pressurising him down in towards turn 1. Let's right on board with Nathan as he now runs down in towards turn 2. As Wutzer and Yono going side by side as well. Nathan down the inside line, gets the move done. Brilliant move there by Nathan. Just about goes out wide though. Chill have to try and react. Miami nearly getting caught up in an instant there. Now Toxic gonna go around the outside. Nearly PG-18 once again, but Toxic trying to go all the way around the outside. He's trying to hammer it in on the throttle down the inside of turn 4. Nearly hangs out, but Pharrell Fury right on the back of him, and Pharrell Fury, massive gainer as a result of this. Nathan has undercut everyone, and Nathan's in the virtual lead of the race.
Nathan in the net lead of the race. He's in second right now. All he's got to do is just pass Verstappen, and then he can just try and push to get clear of the likes of Toxic. Which is going to be very interesting. Safety car definitely playing into Nathan's hands here.
Yeah, Nathan, of course, making that earlier pit stop compared to the rest of the guys out on track. Chill is now pretty much directing traffic at this stage because Miami is in behind, but Verstappen leading the way, Nathan in second, Chill in third. It does take a couple of laps for these mediums to get up to temperature. Sofian now right on the back of Jono. Jono now under pressure from Sofian. Sofian, of course, had damage on lap 1 at the end of lap 1 and that ridiculous ghosting system failure. As now Jono dives it down the inside line, he runs out wide. Sofian nearly boxed up, and now Campbell forces his way down the inside line of Nolan, just in behind. Good move there by Campbell. I think he's through and he's into 13. Sofian's got Jono down the inside as well. It's all a bit helter-skelter here back in the mid-pack, but Sofian is through. Campbell around the outside. Josh and Nolan are going to try and make it 3 wide into the final corner. This is not going to work as nearly Nolan gets into the back. Josh nearly gets pinched up on the inside. Somehow they've came out there relatively unscathed. Josh is down the inside line, and Jono is dropping like an absolute fly down the field, and he's got damage. Right side end plate damage on the car, and the RGW I think has got damage there as well on the left side end plate, and Zerdimer is going to get through, and Miami is through on Chill.
Yeah, but Chill got a nice run.
Oh, look at Toxic! Toxic down the inside line! What a move! Chill and Miami went into each other. Toxic down the inside line. Miami's trying to hang it on in there. 3 wide coming through in towards turn 4. And Toxic's got the move done. Just about brilliant stuff. Toxic, the champion-elect, is through and he's into third. How much time, though, has that cost him out on track? It's 2.5 seconds. He's nearly been spun. He's nearly been hitboxed round by Miami as well. Verstappen leading Nathan in second. Toxic, has he got damage on the right side end plate?
Let's have a little
he
look.
has.
Yes, he has.
So obviously he's hit the back of... Well, he's hit the wall somewhere, I'd imagine, out on track, and this is why he's so slow. Toxic, in big trouble. The champion-elect, right side end plate damage on the car. He's pulling away from Miami now. Chill's on the back of him. Wouter and Pharrell Fury as well. It's both relentless boys are on the back of each other as well. Nathan tries to close into Verstappen, but DRS will be enabled next lap around. Pharrell Fury goes out wide, and now Wouter looks to the outside line. Not quite, and pretty much we remain as we are.
He had a good run. I was hoping Ruda would be making a similar overtake to right under Brent on the previous lap into turn 15 down the inside, but no go this time around. And yeah, that contact for Toxic giving him wing damage doesn't appear to be hampering him as much. He has closed in by about a 10th, but DRS now for Nathan on the back of Verstappen for the race lead.
Here we come. I don't think he's close enough. Yep, relentless Nathan right on the back of Verstappen. Not relentless enough to try and get the move done. Down in towards turn 1. And Nathan then will hang on to second for now. But he has got the speed coming to the left hand of the Fish Stadium. Just off to the left hand side of the drivers. And behind though, Wouter is nearly going side by side with Pharrell Fury. Nearly ran into the back of him there, under pressure. And speaking of under pressure, now Nathan on the outside line of Verstappen. Looks the outside line coming in towards turn 5. Can he try and get the move done? Not quite. And Nolan picks up a 3-second tumbling. Nathan run out wide. Wouter and Pharrell Fury side by side. And Pharrell Fury lets him go. So Wouter through. And he's into second position. He's got Chill just ahead of him. Josh trying to make up ground. There's a car off just in the foreground of shot. That was Nathan. Nolan, I should say, going off. The two ends are really confusing me here tonight. Nolan in 17th. RGW replacing his front wing. And he's came into the pit and he's down there in 18th. But now Nathan on the back of Verstappen. I don't think he's got enough legs to try and get this move done, actually.
Nah, if I was Nathan, I'd be just chilling in behind. Oh, actually, he has got a good run in the final part of the straight, and around the outside he's going to try it.
Oh, Verstappen just outbreaks himself. Nathan nearly off track, gets the move done, but now Verstappen on the switchback. Tries to get the inside line. Miami's right on the back of Toxic as well. Just in behind as they come up the hill and towards turn 15. But Nathan leading the way. Verstappen in second. Nathan getting that move done, but Verstappen is not going to give this up without a fight. He's going to come into the pit lane, and that has disrupted Nathan. But Nathan now in clear air. He's more than 2.5 seconds clear compared to Toxic. This front wing damage with Toxic, though. He must only have about 40% damage on that car. He's pulling away from Miami, or he's dragging Miami along with him. And Wouter has been held up by Chill, and he's more than a second back.
Yep, Chill going deeper into this race for safety car now with the other ones. Nolan's retired from the session. And here goes Miami down the inside.
Trying to get the move done down the inside of turn 2. They go inside of each other. Good move there by Miami. I think that was always going to come out one way. Pharrell Fury is spun. Coming through turn 2. Just about gets the car around, and he's not relentless enough to try and get that move done. I'm sorry, Jav. Josh is through on Larkin as well, and Larkin's got damage. Left side end plate damage for Larkin out on track, and he's dropping down. He's going to let Campbell through, so Larkin now has been caught up in a collision. He's got left side end plate damage, and Campbell let through and he's into 9th. Oh, it's that Josh is in the wall! Surely that's going to deploy a safety car. That is on track. That doesn't deploy a safety car, then I don't know what it is. The VSC, I think, that is deployed out. A VSC for that! And a safety car for front wing damage that was literally on the left-hand side of the track and could have been cleared by a marshal. This game can't make it up. Nathan out on top of Miami in second, Toxic in third. VSC is deployed out on track and 5 laps to go after this one. But goodness me, Nathan leading the way, Miami in second, Toxic in third. A VSC though deployed for that.
Yeah, sometimes this game never fails to amaze me, but interesting fact, we got Toxic going very wide there on the entry in towards turn 15, and we got Ruta on the back, and Ruta's going to be looking to try and pick up some championship points on Toxic here, especially with that wing damage.
I just thought I'd mention as well, Nathan's absolutely nailed the restart. He's getting 0.8 of a second on Miami. Nathan, 3.8 seconds clear, coming across the line. Chiller's into the pit lane for his mandatory stop. Toxic then trying to get onto the back of Miami, but I don't think he's going to be close enough down in towards turn 1. Ruta is just off the back of these guys as well. Rocco right on the back of Brent, trying to close him down in towards turn 1. Trident, of course, tied with, I believe, Dams in the Constructors coming into tonight, but it's Nathan out on top. Miami second, Toxic in third. Rocco, though, on the back of Brent, 5th and 6th position. The sun trying to beam through like Jesus. It's Rocco now in P6, Brent in P5. Sofian is through on Larkin, though.
Sofian down the inside, Larkin trying to fight back around the outside, goes off track, though. And they're wheel to wheel now on the run down into turn 5. Oh, very close here, and Larkin getting very tail happy, and so they might get through.
Yeah, Zerdema gets through. I don't think he's got damage as Zerdema. He's on a set of super softs as well. He's carving his way through the field. He was 18th under the restart. I just throw that out there. He's 18th under the restart. He's up to 9th. So he's getting half the positions in about half as much time out on track. Maybe because of collisions, maybe because of a VSE as well. But Ruta trying to get onto the back of Toxic. This is for 4th position. Nathan leading the way and dominating out on track. For Miami in second, Toxic in third. Jordan in the comment section saying double relentless podium on the cards here. Yeah, Rocco was through and he's into 5th position. Could be a triple relentless podium. Campbell though trying to get the move done on Brent. Down the inside into 15. Gets the move done. Campbell through and he's into 6th, and he is carving his way through the field as well.
Yeah, so the interesting thing that we got at the moment is Toxic has a 3-second time penalty. So at the moment he's definitely losing the spot to Ruta in behind. Rocco is 3.4, I'm going to say 3.4, 3.5 seconds off the back of Toxic right now.
Yeah, he is. He's about 3.6 seconds, I'll make it out, to be honest. Ruta on the back of Toxic, not going to get the move done. Rocco under attack from Campbell. Campbell absolutely sides his way. Pass through on Rocco down into turn 2. Gets the move done. Gets caught on the curb and is going to let Rocco round the outside, possibly. Brent's going to try and follow through. Rocco will try and cut to the inner. Sofian, I think, has spun coming through turn 2 as well. Yeah, Sofian is round, coming through the exit of turn 3. And Campbell still stays in 5th, Rocco 6th, and Brent in 7th. But a lovely move by Campbell. He is through. Ruta really challenging the back of Toxic. The more that Toxic holds Ruta up, though, the more it's going to give Ruta a lot of pain, and the more chance it's got of Campbell catching back up. So I think Toxic will be obliged to hold up Ruta here as much as possible.
Yeah, but the big thing for Toxic is that he does not want to lose DRS to Miami, because then he'll be an absolute sitting duck.
I think he just has. Oh no, he hasn't. Yeah, it just ticked over 1 by 1,000th per second over a second just before that detection point. So that's why I thought he was out of DRS. He's not, and he's closing on the back of Miami, but it is Nathan leading Miami second, Toxic third, Ruta in 4th. Rocco again on the back of Campbell, right on board with the Arc 1 Pre-Man. Plenty of 3-second penalties being picked up further down the field. Chill, the latest one to pick up a 3-second tumbly. I think along with Yono as well, if I'm not mistaken. But Nathan leading the way as I swat a black fly. That's back from Saturday. Miami in second, Toxic in third, Ruta in 4th. Ruta, though, I think, has just got to try and get past Toxic ASAP. Oh, is that Nathan has spun! Nathan has spun from the lead of the race! Nathan has bottled another victory! Out of the final corner, he spins the car. Nikita Mazepin, eat your heart out, and Nathan now from potentially dominating this race. He's going side by side with Campbell. He's going to let Rocco through as well. Nathan has got damage. Left side end play on the car. I think he spun it coming out of the curb through turn 18. And Nathan has bottled yet another victory. That's the third time this season.
This is unbelievable. Nathan's starting to build a reputation. He might be able to rival me eventually.
Brent's now on the back of him, but that is so unfortunate for Nathan. Really, really unfortunate circumstances for him spinning the car around. And now Nathan has got all hopes dashed of winning this race gone. Pretty much. He could still be on potentially for top 5 if Toxic picks up another penalty. But Nathan, I know I said Nikita Mazepin, he picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. It gets bad to worse now. Literally commentators cursing him everywhere. He runs out wide. He has got no control with that front wing damage on track. But you know what? He may as well keep going because he's still going to possibly finish 7th.
Yeah, this is the thing now. Nathan, he has to keep the speed out, try and stick on the back of Rocco and Campbell as much as possible. Because as we see, Zudema in 8th, he's on the super soft. He is about 4.2, 4.3 seconds behind, and
Nathan
is Larkin and Nathan side by side.
Yeah, Nathan ran the outside of turn 16. Newcomer absolutely outdoing the old school as Larkin now is down into 10th and Nathan down in, up into 9th position. Really good move there by Nathan. Wouter won't lie down though on the back of Toxic, and Wouter now has got a really close run onto the penultimate lap of the race. Toxic then defends the inside line. Needy comes across him. He's got to be very careful. They're going to go inside of each other. If they're not careful, they've got on each other, and that is another failure of the ghosting system. Wouter and Toxic into contact, and Toxic just about gets the car spun, but Campbell now is right on the back of Wouter, and it's going from bad to potentially worse. Nathan actually, as a result of that, is back in with a shadow of a podium.
I mean, maybe if everyone else ahead of him picks up a 3-second time penalty and Brent doesn't. Speaking of Brent, I've been sick right now, doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, Brent's obviously one of the guys that pitted in early in the Trident, of course, in Roy Nassani's car. But he's on the back of Nathan. But I just want to talk about that incident, because I could see from an absolute mile back, Toxic could not give Wouter any less room than what he did. He used, essentially, a glitch to spin himself. I don't think I could ever say that in a commentary. He used the glitch to spin himself. Didn't realise. Obviously, it might be to our point of view they get spun because of the hitbox. To their point of view, they may be normal. Out on track. Oh, Campbell runs into the back of Wouter. Campbell into the back of Wouter. Has he got damage? Don't think he has. As Wouter runs out wide. And Miami is going to win this race.
Yep, Miami 3.5 seconds, 3.6 seconds clear of Wouter right now. And an interesting gap to keep our eyes on. We know Toxic has that 3-second time penalty.
He's picked up another one.
Nathan in 9th.
Nathan, Toxic's just picked up another 3-second time, but he's got 6 seconds. Yeah, he's going to be behind the likes of Pharrell Fury possibly now. Literally, I saw Mark's comment saying Toxic is so blessed he's going to finish P8. He's not now.
I mean, I was laughing at the relinquish P1 joke.
No, I would say though, the guys out on track, the relentless boys out on track. Rocco has been a little bit of a slow burner in this race, but he's in 4th position, doing a fantastic job. Nathan spun, for goodness sake, and he's still in 5th. Just a race of contrasting fortunes. On to the final lap, Miami leading the way, Wouter 2nd, Campbell in 3rd. There's your top 3, I think. To be honest, Rocco's going to try and challenge the back of Campbell. On board with Zerdimer, who's on the back. Zerdimer's tyres now giving way. You would say Nathan is catching him out on track. I think it would have been the case if Toxic only picked up that 3-second time penalty where Nathan was catching. And speaking of the other Nathan, Nathan has picked up a 3-second time penalty coming through turn 11. But Miami is on his way to a victory here in Russia. And I didn't think I'd be saying that.
Yep, we are now coming towards the final sector. Miami 3.2 seconds ahead of Wouter, and obviously a great drive from Miami as well. You know, he just kept it out of trouble.
He has.
Oh, Rocco tried it down the inside of Campbell, gets cut off. they're at the apex, and last ditch effort, it didn't work out for Rocco. So we go now. Miami across the line will pick up the win ahead of Ruta in second, Campbell third, and Rocco in fourth. Let's see where Toxic ends up.
Nathan spun. Oh, it was a massive crash coming across the line. Nathan spun. Toxic down in 11th. Nathan, the other Nathan, is going to be on provisional pole. He's going to be on reverse grid pole. So Nathan, the newcomer, on reverse grid pole. Nathan is going to be second. This is going to be a mouthful to say in terms of the sprint race.
Nathan front row.
An all Nathan front row. We can now say that. But what I can say is Miami to Sochi. Miami wins here in Sochi. That was bad.
Yeah, I can't give you any ratings for that one. That's poor.
I was trying to go along the lines of Miami to Ibiza, but Miami to Sochi really does not have the greatest ring to it at all. But Trident gets driver of the day. That was Brent, of course, getting awarded the in-game fans driver of the day. Can you really award an in-game driver of the day after that race? I don't know, but goodness me, what a race out on track, and another Gary Donegan lookalike at the top step of the podium. Who would have thought it? Unbelievable. Miami, though, takes the win here in Sochi. Sprint race, of course, still to come. If the feature race was as crazy, the sprint race is going to be even crazier, I think, Mike.
Yeah, the feature race just seemed like a battle of attrition. Keep it clean, keep it on track, and you got a good chance.
Oh, let's have a rundown on the grid order. Miami, 9th on the grid to victory here in the feature race. Ruta in second with Campbell down in third. Campbell recovered very well from an early spin out on track. Rocco in fourth, Brent in fifth, Zodoma in sixth, Nathan in seventh. The other Nathan on reverse grid pole in 8th, and Nathan, Relentless Nathan, was 7th, and he got the fastest lap as well. Terrell Fury in 9th, Larkin ran off the top 10, Verstappen in 11th, Toxic down in 12th position from pole position, Sofian in 13th, Chill in 14th, Yono on his debut in 15th, RGTW in 16th, Josh 17th, and Nolan 18th, both of them DNF'd at various points in the race, Nolan retiring into the pit lane, and Josh crashing out on track and causing the VSC. A Nathan 1-2 going into the sprint race. I've had it with Venom in TTML before, never with a Nathan.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the fastest laps then. It's weird. It came up with Nathan, Relentless Nathan having the fastest lap. But then I saw Verstappen's time and it was over a second quicker. So once again, the game giving us interesting glitches.
Well, let's hope EA are listening and they're not going to spend their money on microtransactions for the next game. But there we are.
Well, that's
Excel.
what we're spending our money on.
I don't know what I'd spend my money on, to be honest, if I was a game developer. But there we are. We are about to go into the sprint race. You can see the roller coaster there in the background of shot. A roller coaster of emotions, of course, from that feature race. The sprint race, of course, still to come. I wonder who's going to be high-siding it at the top of that by the end of this race. But we are about to get going into the sprint race. Ben in the comment section saying Excel OP. Yeah, Excel, of course, winning both feature races, both in Division 2 and Division 1. Matthias mentioning that as well. Miami winning the feature race. Wouldn't have expected that coming into today. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it at all. If you went for my top 3 prediction, yeah, just yeah. 11 laps to win these guys out on track, Mike.
Yeah, and well, hopefully, Relentless Nathan can put that feature race behind him. He does seem to go better in the sprint races, and he's got a perfect opportunity to get the win here. Because you got to think, Rocco, Campbell, Ruta, Miami, they're gonna have a bit of a tough time getting through on Brent, and of course, Redeemer will probably help his teammate out ahead of him. And Brent will probably do the same for Nathan ahead of him as well.
Yeah, Nathan 1-2. CRL Nathan, of course, is brand new into the league. Literally signed up a couple of hours ago into the league, joined the Discord, and now he's in a reverse grid pole position out on track. Relentless Nathan, who we're more used to seeing, of course, here in Formula 2, in second. Didn't start last week in Abu Dhabi, and it's a wonder why I don't think he started there. I don't think he'd be coming back anytime soon. Oh, it's actually eclipsed the wall. coming in towards turn 12. Luckily no damage through turn 11, I should say. Nathan not picking up any damage, obviously, on the formation that. But if he does that in the race, he's going to be dropping down the field like an absolute stone.
Yeah, absolutely. And this battle, P11 and 12, is one that I'm interested in seeing at the start. Verstappen and Toxic.
Oh, to be fair as well, Larkin's involved in that as well. And Larkin's no slow coach whatsoever. And Verstappen and Toxic in behind are no slow coaches in their own right as well. I mean, they're towards the top end of the field. Larkin is lacking about, by the way. All on my screen. But Nathan now coming around the final couple of corners, along with Nathan in behind. First and second, Zerba third, Brent in fourth. I'm going to make a quick top three prediction before I cross it over to you, Mike. My top three for this race: Rocco for the win, Nathan, CRL Nathan in second, and let's go Toxic third.
Okay, my top three, I'm going to go with Relentless Nathan for the win. I think he's going to come back strong in the sprint race. Campbell second, Huda third.
Black Fly. Going about all over the screen here. So now we are about to get going once again in the sprint race. Nathan and Nathan on the front row of the grid, two varying views, and we get to see it all live unfold here in the sprint race. Round 6 of the championship once again about to begin, and the 5 red lights are now coming on here in Sochi for round 6 of the championship. It's the sprint race. And it's lights down and where we go. Nathan gets a good start. Nathan also gets a good start. And Zerma right on the back of Relentless. Nathan with a sensational start down on the inside line. He gets through down in towards turn 1. Can he hold the lead though? Running down in towards turn 2. Larkin is lagging about very much indeed. Further down the field. Oh, and he's actually... I don't know what's happened there. Nathan coming through turn 1 leads the way. Nathan's got a good run though down the inside line. And both of them make contact. Larkin has absolutely spawned his way somehow through the map. Nathan on the outside line is through. Yeah, Toxic's up to 8, but the two Nathans fighting side by side, and this is the commentator's worst nightmare out on track. But it's good, what action. And see, well, Nathan hangs it around the outside through turn 5, gets the move done, but Nathan's on the inside line. I don't know where to commentate with this, and I don't know where this is going. Nathan lead the way. Zernema though is going to try and spoil the party. Nathan on the outside line, and he's through. Relentless Nathan through. CRL Nathan nearly spins, and now Rocco and Zerdema are going to get sensational runs. Zerdema tries to go all the way around the outside through turn 11. Don't think that's going to get the move done. Zerdema actually twitches, and yeah, Rocco's going to get through as well. Miami is right in the coattail. Campbell, Brent, Toxic over the oven to 8. Verstappen's down to 11. Really good start from Toxic, but Nathan leads the way. Nathan in second, Rocco in third, Miami in fourth. Takeover before I absolutely have a Nathan fest out on track.
So Nathan getting a very good start, getting the jump on Nathan there. Rocco a good start. He's down the inside of Nathan for B2 into turn 15 around the outside. There's so much going on.
Oh, Campbell spun! Campbell spun further down the field. That's coming through turn 14, I think. And yet Campbell has spun. There's all sorts of carnage happening further down the field. Nathan and Rocco though still side by side. Miami trying to get involved in this as well. Miami's up to 4th, by the way. I just thought I'd mention that. Miami's up to 4th. He was 8th. Starting this race as the yellow flag coming through the final corner. It's Campbell again, that's spun. We could have 3 wide down in towards turn 1. Do not even risk this because there's Ghosted in play. Miami's on the inside line. Is he going to try and get both of them down in towards turn 2? No, never going to work. Down the inside line. On, Zerdema spun. Zerdema has spun into the wall. Zerdema has spun into the wall. He's down, dropping down all the way through the field. In fact, it's not him that's gone round. It's Rocco, I think, that's gone round. If I'm not mistaken, Rocco. Yeah, Rocco was the one that's gone round. I apologise. That was Zerdema. Very two similar looking cars. Larkin's got onto a set of super soft compound tires. I don't know where this race is going, to be honest. Toxic's trying to dive it down the inside of Miami, but Nathan leads. Nathan second, Miami in third.
Yeah, Zofia and Josh Yono and RJW here in a 4-way scrap. Wait for the timing glitches to sort themselves out. I'm not sure what position this is for, but in a fantastic 4-way scrap.
Yeah, I think this is for 12th out on track, certainly, with Josh just in front. So Josh, I think, is in 12th. Yono's 13th, Sophia and RJW 14th and 15th. Larkin is right at the back of the field. We can now detect that out on track. Nathan, though, leading the way from Nathan in second. This is very funny in terms of commentary for both of us, I think. Miami's in third. Toxic, though, How's he fourth? Was eighth starting the second lap?
Well, of course we had the inside where Campbell going for a spin and Rocco as well.
He's down the inside line! Oh, lovely stuff! Toxic down the inside line, late braking move down in towards the final two corners. He is through. Toxic sets the new fastest lap as well. Nathan onto lap 3. Round 3 about to begin. Miami's on the back of Toxic. I don't know where this commentary's going, to be honest. Now Miami looks the outside line. Toxic on the inside line. Toxic trying to give as little room as possible. This time, no ghosting system in play. Toxic hangs on to the position, and that's what he should have done. Down in towards someone. Obviously, no ghosting system in play then. But Nathan leads the way. Nathan in second. Toxic third. Miami in fourth. And they're pulling away by a second from Zerdimer.
Yeah, Zerdimer dropping off the back of the top 4 and in towards the clutches of the likes of Verstappen and Ruta. Ruta over the back of Verstappen for P6 at this moment in time. Brent holding his own there in P8. Foul Fury in 9th, and Chill with a very chilled 3-second time penalty to his name.
That's terrible. He needs to take a chill pill that on track if he doesn't want to pick any more up. Nolan in 11th, Josh in 12th. That actually worked. That pun actually worked that time. Weird. It's Fian through on Josh, trying to go on the inside line. Now side by side, and Guan Yu Zhou's car to the right hand side there, but Fian all the way around the outside through 11. That's impressive. The Dam's through. Toxic now right on the back of Nathan. Nathan closing in on Nathan to the inside line, running down towards turn 11. Nathan and Nathan side by side. Toxic right on the back of this as well. He's going to try and go for an awesome undercut coming through. He's going to be blocked in by Nathan. Nathan on the other outside line, and both the Nathans hang on and they box him in for now. Nathan and Nathan leading the way. Toxic and third, Miami in fourth, but now Toxic gets the outside line. He's going to try and force his way through Giuliano Alesi's car. Nathan to the inside line, and still leads the way. Nathan in second, and now Hand of Rage from the high-tech man. Miami's right involved in this as well, and now Zerdimer's catching back up all of a sudden. Now four in a line, basically running down in towards turn 1. Nathan, Toxic, Miami.
Yep, and
3 wide.
3 wide.
This is going to be bad for someone. Toxic on the outside line, trying to get the move done. More Hand of Rage as Toxic gets a 3-second tumbling, gets to the lead of the race. That's an illegal overtake by my luck, as now Nathan looks right on the back of him. Oh, he's not going to go inside of him, is he? Oh, I thought that was going to be the worst possible thing happening out on track. And now Nathan picks up a 3-second tumbling. Now the other Nathan has dropped down to 4th.
Yep, it's all gone wrong here for the Nathans.
Goodness me, they're just going to look on this commentary and just... everyone's now watching this and probably thinking, what on earth? What on earth? Can you try and, like, distinguish their names? They're both called Nathan, we can't. We can't, it's impossible in commentary. Toxic leading the way, Nathan in second, Relentless Nathan in second, Miami in third, and the newcomer Nathan in 4th position. Zerdimer right on the back, Verstappen right on the back. Verstappen, by the way, he was 11th the last time I saw him, he's now in 6th.
Yeah, Verstappen doing a good job. Similar story to Toxic, getting some positions early, as here goes Nathan around the outside of Toxic. Is he going to be able to pull this off? Toxic goes deep and cuts off Relentless Nathan there. And
Miami.
Here goes Miami with the switchback.
Oh, and Nathan's in his spin interim. Luckily, Miami was there. Otherwise, that could have been an absolute catastrophe for Nathan again. Miami switches him back. Excel against Relentless. How do you like to see this one unfold? Toxic though pulling away. Nathan in second and Miami in 3rd position. And Toxic, 12th on the grid, leads the way halfway through the race.
Yeah, the only caveat for Toxic at the moment is our 3-second time penalty and the fact that the top 9 are all in a DRS train with each other.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, Toxic leading the way. Nathan in second, Miami in
Nathan
third. Nathan spun. Has he got damage on the car? Yeah, no, he hasn't. I don't think he hasn't. Nathan's actually recovered out of the wall, and he's only down into 7th position. He's still in that DRS train. Obviously, Toxic leading the way. Miami's got clear air though. That's going to help out Miami quite a lot. But Nathan, again, out on track. That rear end, very, very happy indeed. And Nathan now down into 7th. He's behind Ruta, which is a good godsend for him. He picks up another 3-second time penalty out on track. But Nathan's race has just gone from bad to worse as Josh has spun coming through turn 5.
Josh around Chill with another 3-second time penalty. His name is a VSC.
Yeah, because Josh clipped the wall when trying to recover the car there, and he's lost more of his front wing. In fact, he's lost his entire front wing out on track, and that means now Josh is going to try and troop away back into the pit lane. VSC deployed. Toxic leads the way. Miami in second, Nathan in third, Zernemer fourth, Verstappen in fifth, Ruta sixth, Nathan in seventh, Relentless Nathan, Brent in eighth, Fury in ninth, Chill running off the top 10, Nolan in 11th, RJDW in 12th, Campbell 13th, Fian 14th, Yono in 15th, Rocco 16th, Josh 17th, Larkin in 18th position. Most positions gained down on track. Toxic, most positions lost. Rocco.
Yeah, it's it's a good sprint race so far for Toxic, but with that 3-second time penalty to his name, he's going to be open for an absolutely blistering VSC restart here.
Yeah, Miami will be hoping to try and get onto the back. Looks like we're about to get back underway. Perfect timing as we are back underway. 1.7 seconds as the gap. Toxic over Miami. He's getting a little bit of time out on track. Nathan now on the back of Ruta. I don't think he's looking to dive bomb his own Relentless teammate running down in towards turn 2. Oh, have you left the session? Oh, I think my co-commentator might have had a bit of a voice chat, Philly. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there. Nathan on the back of him. Ruta is on the back of Verstappen. Looks the inside line. We're going to have to try and go this one solo, I think. Toxic leads the way. Miami in second. Nathan goes around the outside line of him. And now Nathan on the outside. Verstappen's got damage. Left side unplate damage for Verstappen. Nathan on the inside line. Trying to get the move done down in towards 5. Not quite close enough. Toxic leading the way. Miami in second. Nathan in third. Zernemer in fourth. Not really sure what happened there with my co-coms. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. As now Nathan looks the inside line of Verstappen. Looking down in towards turn 10. Doesn't get the move done though. As now Toxic leads the way, 2.3 seconds, gaining the upper hand out on track. Olympic Village just off the left-hand side. These guys going for gold, silver and bronze out on track. And now going for silver is Nathan, right on the back of Miami, going for second position here. He looks to the inside line in the Cheroux in Louis Delatros's car. Nathan is through on Verstappen. Nathan dives it down the inside line, trying to get the move done. And Miami's all the way around the outside of him. Nathan on the inside line, the thinner line will help. And now Nathan on the inside line of Miami, running up the hill, in towards turn 15. Zernemer's not entirely out of this either. Nathan on the outside line for a newbie. He's absolutely outdone Miami, going around the outside line. Beautiful move by Nathan. He's through and he's into second as Ruta right on the back now. Verstappen, he tries to pounce, running down in towards the final 2 corners once again to start lap 7. Out on track, it's Toxic who leads. Nathan second, Miami in third, Zernemer in fourth. Nathan 5th, Verstappen 6th, Ruta in 7th as Chill has crashed out the final corner. That might deploy a safety car, possibly out on track. That is on track through the final corner. Miami and Nathan, however, going side by side, and Miami back through. Speaking of side by side, Verstappen and Ruta in behind as well. I think actually we're going to get that track cleared. Yeah, Ruta, Chill, that car is being cleared, so no safety car out on track. Nathan forcing the issue on the back of Miami, trying to push him around the corner. Toxic leading the way though, Miami in second, Nathan in third, Zernemer fourth, Nathan in fifth. Ruta has got the move done on Verstappen, I think though, down the inside line. And now Brent coming from an absolute mile back, tries to look to the inside line. Not quite. These guys very, very reliant on each other to try and be as clean as possible. But Brent on the back of Verstappen. Ruta trying to get away now, and he's trying to get onto the back of Nathan. Nathan all over the back of Zernemer. Excel against Relentless out on track once again in the sprint race. But Toxic leads the way. Miami in second, Nathan in third, and now Nathan once again on the back of Miami, trying to look to the inside line, running in towards turn number 12 as my co-commentator is back. Nathan dives down the inside line, gets the move done, and Nathan around the outside on Zernemer. Nathan, the other Nathan, Relentless Nathan, hasn't got damage. The other Nathan hasn't got damage. Miami has, and now it's a Nathan sandwich.
Yeah, I'm just trying to log back into the lobby now. My internet connection just completely dropped for a minute there.
Terrible. Toxic leads the way. Well, we'll get you set back in. Toxic leads the way. 4.4 seconds. Nathan in second. Miami in third. And now Miami will look onto the back of Nathan once again. Relentless Nathan not entirely out of this either. Running down in towards turn 2. Miami on the outside line. Should get the move done. Has got the move done. Job done for Miami. He's through and he's into second. There was a car going side by side there for Verstappen, trying to get onto the back of Ruta and actually Yorno and Sofian it is further down the field that I saw. Now diving down the inside line of turn 2, trying to get the move done. Not quite. Back to the battle for second though. Nathan looking to the inside line. And now we get once again Nathan against Nathan.
Yep, and honestly, nothing pleases me more than seeing Nathan go up against Nathan. Oh, Nathan's trying to break up the party.
Oh no, Nathan, yeah, dives it down the inside line of Miami. Saw that one coming from a mile back, to be honest, and Nathan is through, and he's into second. Toxic's only got a 5-second lead, by the way, out on track. Nathan in second, from Miami in third. Nathan in fourth, Zernema in fifth position. Everyone in this sprint race, if you're going to watch this back later on, are just going to be confused by the amount of times we've said Nathan out on track, certainly in the sprint race rather than the feature race. Miami now on board with Relentless Nathan as he looks to the outside line of Nathan, and we're going to get side by side. Oh, and in fact, Relentless Nathan, CRL Nathan, I should say, picks up a 3-second time penalty, nearly ran into the back there, but
This is Nathan.
Miami, Nathan, and they all hang on to the same position.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that Toxic had a 5-second lead because, yeah, the timing, I don't have the correct timers right now. It's saying that he's only just under 200 of a second ahead of Miami.
Nope, he's 5.7 seconds clear coming through the final corner. Might just fix itself now as we come across the line. Toxic leads the way. Miami in second, Nathan in third. But once again, Nathan, CRL Nathan this time, on the back of Miami as he runs now down in towards turn 1. The yo-yo effect really happening out on track as now Nathan is through on Miami and he looks to the outside on Miami, just cuts across. Beautiful stuff. And Nathan is through and he's into second position. 5.7 seconds. These guys falling over each other. However, that just got interesting. Toxic 3-second time penalty.
Very interesting. I mean, he does have around a 6-second gap to Miami, but obviously that's a big blow for Toxic right now.
It is, as Josh has retired, coming in through the final couple of quarters. I don't think that's going to be enough to deploy possibly a VSC. But definitely not a safety car. I think we're too far gone into the race where a safety car wouldn't be deployed. And yeah, that car has actually been cleared up. Larkin is into the pit lane. Larkin retires out on track. Josh having 2 DNFs to his name. Nathan looking now on the inside line of Miami. The other Nathan getting away by 7.5 tenths of a second. Toxic leading the way. Crucially, now with CRL Nathan picking up that penalty, Toxic hasn't got to worry about Miami. Miami is dropping back. Nathan coming back into this. Ruta and Zerdema are nearly going side by side just in behind as well. Nathan lunges it down the inside line of Miami. That's from an absolute mile back. He gets the move done. Miami's going to try and get the switchback coming out of 13, but not quite close enough as Miami is down into 4th. Nathan with a beautiful move down the inside line.
Nathan getting the move done up into 3rd now, and yeah, at the moment, as you said, you know, Toxic hasn't got much to worry about. Oh, he's in the grass. Toxic's in the grass.
Oh, no, we need more drama out on track, Toxic, and look at the gap. Look at the gap. It's now 5.6. Toxic, by no means necessary, has not got this race sealed up because of him running onto the grass. And now Nathan, looking on Nathan, down in the inside line towards turn 2. Nathan and Nathan side by side. Miami is right in behind this as well. Miami's going to get a sensational run on both of them. CRL Nathan leads Ariel Nathan out on track. And the Ariel might become REM after this. That's a reference to music, by the way, if you're not familiar. Brent on the inside line. Verstappen's on the inside line of Brent. Brent trying to go around the outside. RJDW and Pharrell Fury getting involved in that battle as well. So now RJDW just looks the inside line. Doesn't get the move done. Nathan and Nathan still find out for second.
Yep, I got the reference. REM, losing my religion. That's what you heard. That's what you heard.
And now the gap for the lead back up to 6 seconds. So it's just changeable. If the two Nathans weren't fighting, I think Toxic would have absolutely no chance in terms of the advantage that he's got. Verstappen just picked up a 3-second time penalty, his first of the night. Even the sprint race. Nathan though on Nathan to the inside line. Nathan through on Nathan, and he's into second.
Yeah, and Toxic. I was just checking the warnings and everything. Toxic already one warning on his way to his third time penalty, which would be disastrous for him at this point.
I'm not sure if Verstappen could have Brent there, or for all Fury tried to dive it down the inside. It might have been the latter as he tries again, coming through 15, but not quite. 5.9 seconds the gap, 5.8 seconds the gap now. Toxic leading the way from Nathan. Onto the final lap we go. Toxic leads the way from Nathan. Nathan in third. And by the way, if you do want to play a game later on tonight, after this race is finished, take a shot for every single time we say Nathan. You'll be drunk by the end of the night.
So, should we just make it worse and start saying Nathan all the time?
Yeah, Nathan. Campbell, down the inside line though on RGW, trying to get the move done. Down the inside line, RGW gets caught on the curb. Simple for Campbell, he's through and he's into 10th position. So Campbell, former Division 1 champion here in Formula 2, through on the defending Division 2 champion. Campbell through and he's into 10th.
Yeah, but right now it is Nathan in second, Nathan in third. Just 2 more shots.
5.7 seconds though, Toxic leading the way, and Nathan's got 9, Oriel Nathan has got 9 seconds worth of penalties. Nathan in behind's got 3 seconds. It does look to me as if Toxic is going to be winning this out on track, and it is crucial because he made a mistake, of course, running onto the grass. Rocco has got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, and that was through turn 1, and I'm not sure what's going on between both teammates. I'm not sure if they're having each other on. Rusa though, trying to go side by side with Zerma, running down in towards the final couple of corners in this sprint race. Ruta on the outside line of Zerma, and the relentless man could go all the way around the outside. He's now on the inside line, running through 14 and toward 15 and 16, but coming around the final couple of corners as Ruta tries to dive it down the inside line. I don't think he's going to get the move done. He's picked up a 3-second hard penalty. Toxic around the final corner, and Toxic will win here in Russia. Doesn't pick up a penalty coming through the final corner. Nathan comes across the line to finish in second, spins it on the curb. Nathan, the other Nathan, is in third, but outdone by Mari and Zerma. More crashes coming across the line.
It's a Tesco car park.
Goodness me. Other brands of shopping are available, by the way. Nathan in 4th, Brent in 5th, Ruta in 6th, RGW in 7th, Verstappen and Nate. I'm not sure what's going on with these two. Rocco and Nolan out on track. I've been so used to saying Nathan, it's going to get in my brain into tomorrow night in TTL Division 1. Nolan and Rocco going nearly side by side. I think Rocco's just going to dive bomb it here. Nolan decides to slow him up. This is not the fairest amount of racing you've ever seen in your life, but Rocco tries to go down the inside line. He spins. He was going to do that anyways. And Nolan finishes ahead of Rocco. So there we are.
I think both of them at the end just having a laugh together, just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely as Toxic takes driver of the day. And what about the in-game fans? And for that drive, yeah, why wouldn't you? As actually, we do not see a Gary lookalike at the top step of the podium for once this season. Toxic leads the way, extends his lead in the championship as a result of this win here tonight. A fantastic win from him. Dominant in the sprint race.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to give him his props there. He had so much pace in the sprint race, and he was able to get up towards the front very quickly. And once he got into the lead, he just kept building that gap. Made a couple of mistakes, but he had enough in hand.
Toxic then wins. 12th on the grid up to first. Mami in second. Zerma in third. Excel will be very happy with that. Second and third. Sewell Nathan Liz Debbie. Really good performance from both him in the feature race and him in the sprint race. Watch out for him going forward. Brent in 5th. Ruta in 6th. RJDW in 7th. 16th on the grid up to 7th. Really good performance from him. Verstappen in 8th. Nathan in 9th. Felfield running off the top 10. Campbell in 11th. Sofian in 12th. Yono in 13th. Nolan 14th. Rocco 15th, Larkin, Josh, Chill, not finishing out on track. And for once, it's actually said the correct fastest lap of the race. Nathan picking up the fastest lap of the race. Even though Nolan was quicker, I believe Nathan gets the fastest lap point, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of the weekend results, Miami, 37 points according to that. Ruta on 22, Toxic 19. So Miami really outdoing his rivals.
Yeah, and if I was going to give a driver of the day for Sochi, it's got to be Miami. Absolutely fantastic driving both the feature and sprint race.
Yeah, fantastic result, I think, from Miami. And yeah, I would have to tend to agree, to be honest. I think Miami definitely gets my drive of the day. We don't want to say that name out on track anymore in terms of my driver of the day. But there we are. We are done then for tonight here in League of Europe Division 1 for Formula 2. Of course, more action coming up for you this week. It is LOE PC and Assetto Corsa on a Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock if you are tuning in for that. And then we've got old school fashion Formula 1 racing on Saturday night in League of Europe Division 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, Division 1, 3 and 4, live at 6:40. You can join me and the likes of the other commentators as well, whose name that I've forgot, which is terrible of me. And then Division 2, Aiden Carter and Daniel Hoggard. I was going to say Aiden Carter and Conti, that's for a different league. Aiden Carter and Daniel Hoggard taking to the action Division 2, and then Division 5, of course, also going to be at 8:10. Both Division 2 and Division 5 at 8:10. But Mike, you made it in the end, but oh, what a race.
Yep, as I said at the end of the feature race, it seemed like a race of attrition here. And, we saw Miami being heavily rewarded for keeping it clean, keeping it on track, not getting caught up in any instance. We saw people like Relentless Nathan, Toxic, making these mistakes and dropping down the order.
Yeah, so unfortunate, I think, for Nathan in that sprint race. If he didn't bottle it at that sprint race, I think he would have been my driver of the day, because he drove such a really good race in the feature race as well, keeping up with the likes, even with a little bit of damage in that feature race as well. But another win for Toxic. Nathan JB, honestly, an unreal debut, says Jordan. I totally agree. Brilliant debut from him. Watch out for him going forward here in Division 1. Missing a quality battle at the back, James. I know. There was more action towards the front, and we want to say Nathan about 20 million times on the stream as well, Jav. Don't get at me. God, both teammates still fighting, of course. That was Toxic. That was Rocco and Nolan in the end battling out for the wooden spoon, is what I'm going to say. I've said it. The wooden spoon out on track. But there we are. That is it. Over and done with. League of Europe Division 1 is done for Formula 2 tonight. Of course, I've been James Head. He's been Michael Edwards. Please take care of yourselves in this crazy world that we all live in. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, goodbye.
Nathan.